May I run my stream?
I mean, you're more than welcome to.
Would
But
just like your
it's
permission.
not like anyone's actually coming to watch on my end. Um,
Well, then how do I host you? Question mark.
mental mutt.
You think I know how to actually host people on Twitch? I'm very bad at this.
If you go to
It's
your
in the
channel thing,
dashboard.
yeah, your dashboard, there's an option. It specifically is like host people.
Okay. Um, what is the Twitch?
Mental mutt, one word.
Two capitals, no capitals.
Shouldn't matter.
It matters.
It does. Then
No.
Yes.
no. What? No.
Yeah, yes, it does matter.
What? Since when? I have a sneaking suspicion that there's not another one-word mental mutt.
Well, I can't find a mental mutt. Just link me your Twitch.
Just
Anyhow.
FYI, I have started my job, which has required me to get up a bit early, so I do have like a 12:30, maybe 1 a.m. sort of cutoff time, as I do need to get sleep. Just FYI.
You know, a time zone might help, because 12:31 for
Eastern.
you. Okay.
Eastern.
East.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no, not in California anymore.
Oh boy.
Uh.
So, just
About when we normally end anyway.
roughly. And here's where we
mean,
just
we
kind of
have
drag
gone.
on. Well,
Don't
I mean,
worry, I can play Union if needed. I have a sheet.
If you do
Cackles.
anything to the moose,
the moose.
The moose is the elk is not what you should be worried about.
don't you
Anyhow,
dare hurt it.
good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and pick up with roll call. Bella,
Hello.
Zealous,
Hi.
Joe is unfortunately, unless he snuck in here. I don't think he did. Nope. Joe's not with us at the moment. Ideal,
Hello.
Nami,
Hey, hey.
and Union.
I'm Union.
Wonderful. So, welcome everyone to Adventures here in Ilhern, our little homebrew world. Where we last left off, the party has made good their trek out from Innslen, utilizing a good push through a day and a half's worth of travel, and now have settled down on one of the final foothills as they reach the small town of Groffen, with the intent to uh, manage some work found on a rumor board, as well as follow up a investigation on Union's behalf regarding a bit of his troubled past. Along the way, you had passed one motley colored and vibrant caravan with this large ogre's figure who gave you all a friendly little wave. And trekking along the lakeside, Enigma, aptly named, had brought forward to the party a corpse, mangled and ruinous former being of life that apparently was not as disturbing to the party as I guess it was hoping, because Enigma just trekked off to go get some more. Um, and unsupervised throughout the day, the party found out that Enigma apparently had been dealing and dispatching, with a great bit of its own fun, um, presumably currently thought to have been bandits throughout the foothills. After making camp in the evening, Ideal and Nami and Zealous hanging out at the camp. Oh, excuse me. Zealous having had the misfortune of missing out on not one but two fights. Kind of yo-yoed between going with the scouting party once Enigma had been spotted with some more individuals, and a ambush poorly done by the attacking party. Though once again, somehow, Ideal and Nami have managed to lose sight of the large armored figure as he went to vent his rage. The remainder of the party, having returned from the bandit excursion, followed over the hills the sounds of music and general frivolity, where they found yet another caravan. The wagons circled, met up with a small halfling who told them, please present yourselves to the one known as Mother, show your respect, and otherwise, please, by all means, have a good time. Joe, I believe it was Joe, Union, and Bella were danced through the crowd up to this withered Cronius figure of white hair and white garb, who, as we faded to black, leaned very closely with these roomy eyes heavily clouded over and quite possibly fully blind, yet seemed to stare through each of you as she welcomed you and said to good Joseph, you walk surrounded in darkness, young man, but yet so bright. She seemed to try and turn herself as if she could not keep eye contact with him for very long. This is where we pick up. She gestures wide and warm to you. Her motion is slow and labored to the three of you. Please eat of our food, drink of our wine, and enjoy of our song and dance. The family welcomes you so warmly, so true. We ask only that before the high moon rises, you move on and return to your own camp. She folds her hands in her lap, apparently willing to say no more, and you actually see she sort of nods off after her little speech. Beside her on either side, you can now see very well obscured in the folds of the backdrops of the wagon, two individuals watching you all very closely. Tall, wispy humanoids with their hoods drawn tight and heavy over their face, obscuring them, and each hand carrying softly loaded hand crossbows, very ready.
Oh. I mean, fair enough.
Scorgan is typing. So he's either saying he's not going to be joining us because he is tired, which is understandable. It's been a week.
Yes, it has.
But
Understandable.
they do not appear to attempt to stop you in any fashion. That you can smell the cooking of meat.
That's also a reason.
Hot damn. So to the one viewer from southern New Mexico, I'm sorry that you're missing out on your Ilhernian adventures. Apparently they've been without internet. Anyhow, but behind you there is very lively music. It doesn't seem to follow any set sort of practice. it's music for music's sake. One instrument takes the lead, and others sort of pick up behind it, filling in whatever void. So there's almost no absence of sound, and it's very energetic, and you can kind of feel it in your bones. And after a minute or so, it switches over, and another player takes the lead. Um, it's enjoyable. It's very. Oh, you're not even there. I'm sorry, Ideal. Sucks to be you.
I
Yep.
was about to say, can we hear this from all the way at the
Oh, man.
safety bubble?
You can actually hear that because you heard. That's what drew them over in the first place. You can hear the music. It is loud, and it carries very well. But you would not catch the nuances from the distance. I'm sorry, Ideal. I'm
Okay.
so sorry.
I can deal with this.
It is still pleasing. It's a little distorted as they may or may not be magical effects, and your bubble stops those.
AKA, no magic effects can enter the bubble.
I'm just gonna join in the fun. It's completely my plan.
One of the previous dancers who had scooped you up earlier, a very well dressed gentleman, and mind you, these are not well dressed in like vibrancy of color, but they are just well dressed in travel clothing. That it fits them very well. There's not the bright vibrancy that you saw on the caravan that had passed you earlier, in the very early morn. Um, these are visually very simple folk, but it's more their movement and such that fills them with the grace and energy that surrounds the camp at the moment. But the young man, the last one who had danced with you and brought you up to the mother, scoops you up again and takes you near one of the bonfires, dancing for several minutes before eventually leading you to where there are several large casks tipped up on a table and pours freely a large goblet of wine to hand to you.
Oh,
It is a heavy, and it's very sweet red. Union, you are led in similar fashion, probably about a minute or so delayed. Your partner is very eager. None of them press you for questions. They don't even seem to talk to you at all. It's they grab you, dance. A few minutes go by, bring you over, get a drink, and you notice no one grabbed Joe. Hem and the mother appear to have some kind of soft conversation for a moment. Before someone does they bring a cup over to him, and it's hard to make out what they're saying. It doesn't seem like it's any pressured conversation or anything threatening at the moment. Before you are once again, the two of you are swooped into the festivities that surround you. I need both of
Union
you to roll
Okay.
Constitution saving throws, unless you are not intending to imbibe.
No, after the fighting, use a drink.
It is a very heady drink. Bella, that one goblet was probably more than enough, and your compatriot at that point in time, another older gentleman, that kind of silver fox styled fellow, who the voice in the back of the head is like, no, he's a little more my type. We're okay with this. But you're just happy because you got a drinking partner.
woo.
Um, um, he's it's not so much that he's insistent, but they make it a point that your cup is never really gets the chance to hit the halfway point. Um, all about you, men and women are very open with each other. There's no sense of shyness or embarrassment. I just having a good time. Um, which coming from any kind of stuffy city bringing is either refreshing or disturbing. I'll leave that to you. But Union, your your motor skills are getting a little belabored.
Okay.
Um, several hours go by. Ideal, Nami. Still haven't seen Zealous after he beat up a rock. Just all you saw is he stomped off, and well, you couldn't go after him, Ideal, and Nami wasn't leaving the bubble.
Hell no.
Zealous does this all the time. He'll be fine.
Um,
I mean, he can't die, right?
No, he can. It would just take a
Okay.
lot.
But you just, like, what, forge the metal and he's fine? Cast another voodoo spell?
I mean, I could try to heal him.
Is that how that works now? Okay.
I'm not biting my tongue, not at all.
I'm saying.
Don't worry, Zealous, I will spawn a random spike pit just for you.
Yay.
I'm sorry, Bella.
What'd I do?
Random spike pit.
But anyhow, it's closing in on midnight before, as you two are playing your cards and swapping your prizes, so to speak. It's definitely about time that people should be getting some sleep. The music has not slowed down whatsoever. Ideal, you would be being the fashionable gentleman that you are. It actually, man, it sounds like it's actually picking up more as it closes on midnight. I need another Constitution saving throw from Bella and Union. Um, Waiting on unions. Okay. Bella, after two more exchanges, you find yourself briefly dancing with a younger woman, probably closer to you in age. A very fast, whirling dance that, unfortunately, due to your previous rapid intoxication, you find yourself over by a wagon for a brief second. But no one laughs at you. They give you a quick towel that you wipe off. Someone gets you a cup of water before immediately replacing it with a cup of wine and gets you right back into the party. Um, as you're dancing with this young woman, it kind of there's that sudden click, and you get your wits about you. You look up, and the moon is almost entirely at its zenith.
And she did tell us to leave. And then
You look over, and Union is having the time of his life. He is plastered.
I'm gonna go over to.
Hello, Bella.
Hey, Union. I think it's about time we leave.
Who's my favorite blueberry? I put her in a headlock.
Athletics, first athletics / acrobatics. Both of you at disadvantage, as you are inebriated.
Oh God.
Oh, Union. You still get her.
But it's not a very good
It's not
hemlock.
as good as it could have been.
Union,
yeah.
it's time to go.
Why do we have to go?
The lady asked us to leave at about midnight, and it's about midnight.
It can't be a minute later than 4 p.m.
What?
Do you have any bread?
You say that, Union, and a young man, probably 17, 18 years old, comes up, has bread, meat, cheese on a platter, very happy to provide it to you.
Bella, look, bread for me and a strapping young bachelor for you.
Is Joe still talking to the lady?
Joe's nowhere to be seen.
All right, Union, let's go. I'm gonna just kind of.
When you look in that direction, go ahead and give me a perception check. Okay. Nah, yeah, you are still inebriated, so it would still be at yes. Um, best you can tell, the old lady is completely out.
Gonna just kind of try my best to pull Union with.
So you gotta take over the grapple, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So athletics versus athletics.
Oh.
Oh.
You know, and he gets to click one more.
Oh.
The two of you, shortly after you try Bella, are each hand taken by uh, revelers who quickly start dancing you in this long circle about one of the fires, laughter raising louder and louder to match the ever increasing pace of the music. They begin to the circle going faster and faster. I need wisdom saves from both of you. That would not be at disadvantage.
It's the same.
It's still the 14, but okay. You need to let me know when you're back. Pan the camera over. Now having crested one, now two hills. Your that burning fury in your um less than human gut, zealous, as you intentionally try to find some way to pass the hours that the others left you out of. Go ahead and give me an investigation check, please. Okay. As you pass now, cresting to the bottom into the next valley after the second hill, you can no longer hear the music, distant, so it is. And you see now at this point it is difficult to see without any light source. But there, every now and then, as the few clouds break away and move off of the moon, illuminated there in the distance, probably about another maybe fifth of a mile, if that. Looks to be some kind of small hut or cottage of some sort. You can see soft, wispy smoke trailing out of a stack in the back of it. Otherwise, nothing catches your eye.
Kinda doubt there's anyone worth fighting in that hut. So, keep moving.
Just moving around it or moving towards it?
In the direction I was going.
Well, that would that would bring you towards it.
Okay.
As you came up, crested this hill, came down, and it's straight ahead of you, about a fifth of a mile.
I mean, I guess I could go around the property line.
Okay.
Otherwise, yes, straight.
As you get closer, there's no fence work or anything separating it from the rest of the valley. You do start to hear carried over the wind the sounds of very heavy and bawdy laughter. There's a loud of a wooden door slamming against the wall. You squint and can barely make out again in the hazy moonlight. Someone steps out, walks about the side of the house, and just hear that sudden just as he's standing with his back to you while you try to make your way around.
I'm going to address the man and ask if he is having any trouble with anything that needs punching.
So this poor guy sitting on the side of the house taking a leak looks over his shoulder. Boss! There's a racket inside the cottage. About 5 guys come pouring out the front. Dressed now, you see, in very similar hides and leathers as most of the individuals you've been dealing with. Well, your party dealt with without you for most of the night. The one at the head stands just about 5'9". Is wearing like city slicker kind of clothes, simple slacks, a buttoned-up shirt, slicked back, very clean hair, um, and is currently leaning on a very fancy cane. The other man is like quickly, you know, tying it off and pulling the pants back in place as he goes to rush over and join his compatriots, and you hear just. And just what are you doing here? Go ahead and leave your money and your goods, and we'll let you walk away.
Not gonna lie, I kind of look myself over. Goods.
Aye, that's some mighty fine armor you're wearing. Go ahead. We'll wait. Don't be shy. He steps forward. He's got a bit of a fighter's swagger to him.
Okay, well, I will close the distance and punch him.
Okay. You get the one attack and then roll your initiative.
I am not in the mood to just kind of talk. It's like, you know what? No.
It's time to punch.
Kind of punch.
You got this.
You goes, Alice.
You don't got this.
That was a 20.
Man.
That was a 20 to hit. So
Yeah.
you come charging up, and you're sure this guy, he's got nothing on any of the guys you've been practicing against.
Oof.
Oh boy, oof.
You really don't got
And that is when a flash of this bluish purple light emits from the hand holding the cane, and he looks at you just unimpressed as your hand poof, bounces off of it. Well, I guess you weren't really caring about that life then, right?
Neither were you.
The 5 men quickly flank you and begin to attack. Many of them pull shoddy-looking daggers, and one of them actually reaches behind the door and grabs a heavy crossbow, lines up the shot, as you weren't quite ready.
Leah.
Leah, that's beautiful. No, not me.
Sorry, I was just curious.
Zealous literally is the armor.
Yeah.
I wanted to know it, like if it popped off with just like the oily blood just kind of go into a puddle, or
I can shift the form, but I can't actually. No.
okay.
So a series of 5 attacks. The one that has the cane, for the record, he's not moved away from you. He is just standing there. Doesn't seem to take a turn. 3 of which managed to score solid blows. For a pitiful 9 total damage across different types, slashing and piercing. But you're not raging yet, so you don't have any of it. 9 total damage from their sudden attack, and I need 2 strength saves to stay on your feet.
tackling the knees?
They they're just stabbing you. One of them did go low. That one you pass. That one you pass. You stay on your feet. It is now your turn.
I was just taking a quick look at what I could do. Alright, I am going to rage.
Good idea.
Yeah. Berserker rage. Because the way he said that, I don't like
It got you.
Did it bring back some bad memories?
it. Brought back some pretty bad memories, yes.
Guess you really didn't care about that life. Are you attacking the gentleman with the cane?
Yes.
Okay. The first swing, his cane comes up and pushes your hand aside. Very, very lackadaisical, and you catch him a little off guard as he's already been very dismissive of you, and your other blow comes and clocks him right on the jaw. As it finishes its wide swing, his head just turns, and you hear a click from his cane.
I actually forgot about reckless rage. It doesn't show up in actions. It's fine.
Reckless attacks.
Yeah. Forgot about
But you went through a straight frenzy rage. You can bonus action attack, or is that
No, it's bonus action to go to rage.
okay? All right. Well, there are a series of attacks, including his. As you draw for your next wind up, the sound of the click is followed by the slick sound of metal as this sword draws out of the cane. And with a precise tap on what should be vital locations, 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hits, doing little damage in your current furious state of being. He himself has dealt 12 piercing damage to you. That's after having.
Ooh.
Well, that's from 3 attacks, mind you, that all hit.
Fair.
His compatriots, on the other hand, did not fare as well. There is the sound of a string snapping from the crossbowman, having only gotten the one good shot off. But now the crossbow seems to have busted. Otherwise, you've taken, after having all the raw damage types, another 4 damage, piercing and slashing from daggers, short swords that beat into you. But none of the ones that cause strength saves hit you. So you're back up.
Okay, this time I'm gonna reckless attack.
Okay. Still
All on the guy
attacking
with
the boss? Okay.
Yeah.
Hits. A solid catch right in his solar plexus. And you just double down and really drive the hit home. And he lets out a whoosh as he staggers back just a second before striking up back in his fencer's pose. Still not entirely impressed with you. The last one, there's a soft tap on your knuckle, and it draws the blow wide.
Stupid tiny weapons.
I mean, it's not a toothpick like someone else's was.
Hey!
Got some weight behind it, and he seems to know how to use it very well. As the leader shouts out, "Come on, lads! No need to hold back." Being quite inspiring to at least one of them. That's 2 hits against you from the minions. He himself only gets 1 solid hit. which includes what sounds like a loud crack of thunder. There's this sort of thrumming energy around you. In total, you've taken 5 slashing damage as only the guy with the sword hit you. I need a strength save from that hit. And then you've taken 6, half to 3 piercing damage and 9 lightning damage.
If you're wondering, guys, it's going well.
You're up. You do manage to stay on your feet as well.
Okay. I will continue my reckless attacks. Because no, I really do hate this guy. There we go.
Okay. So, after whatever trickery he used, infused in his blade, slams into you, your mind finds itself sitting into a deeper haze of red. One swing catching him right in the throat. There's not even a cough that comes out as you can feel a soft bit of collapse to the windpipe. He's still breathing, he's still up, and there's a sudden flicker of worry in his face as there's that brief, narratively well-timed shine of the moon that shows you're not wearing armor, and he's now very terrified as the next catch is right against the upper jaw just below the temple. It sends him spinning, reeling, and actually stumbles to the ground. Before he gets up, your leg arcs back, catching the poor guy behind you in the nuts. Before there's a loud cracking sound from metal hitting ribs, and he just flops.
Yeah.
He's not out. You hear gasp as he gathers his wind about him. Okay, boys, put him down. Pushes up, and you can see the veins pulsing. The jaw on the right side is hanging low. He's got a bit more of a slur to his speech. As he goes to lay into you with 2 critical strikes.
Ooh.
For 12 points of damage total from him. Before he steps back, you could attempt to OA him.
Yes, I will. Oh, frick you.
Well, wouldn't reckless still apply?
You could reckless, yes.
I don't know the exact wording because it might still apply for OAs.
Once you start it, it's all the way through.
Oh, so I can roll again?
You probably should.
Oh, there's so many numbers there. I was just going to. Oh, work.
Another miss. You manage to glance off the, and you realize now there's chainmail under his fine clothing. Apparently, maybe he doesn't trust the individuals he's working with as much as it seems. And that is when a series of stabs and slashes catches you from all sides. After your rage halves it for another 9 damage. And it's your turn. He has now stepped out away from you. If you step towards him, you're expecting about 3 OAs.
My fists say to follow. My health says otherwise.
Yeah, I think he came back a while ago.
Don't see that in chat.
He reappeared for a bit. I'm back on down.
No, he's still deafened. Okay. What you gonna do? You're surrounded by 5 guys.
I'm gonna attack the guys. I'm not gonna do so recklessly.
Okay. Swing away. Okay. So with your mighty hand, you sweep around, letting your momentum carry from your missed blow before, and catch one of the fellows jabbing at you with a dagger right across the face, attempting to slam him into his compatriot as you give a hearty squeeze, and you can hear cracks and shuffling of things that really shouldn't be moving in the skull. He flops, yelling in pain and agony before he lies still. The other fellow, having dodged out of the way, with a bellow, your free hand comes rearing back, and with your first 2 knuckles catching another fellow right in the windpipe, the short sword user that had been harrying you for the most part. Sending him sprawling and actually smacking against the side of the small cottage, leaving there 3 of your harassers still adjacent with you. And as you turn to get your focus back on the lead man, the fellow that had the crossbow, you catch him charging up at you, spear at the ready and leveled with your chest. But it manages to smack into the plate of your living metal before it glances off. And he grunts and tries to make sure he positions himself to block between you and the gentleman who's in the middle of like adjusting. You can see him kind of putting his jaw back in place, rolling his shoulder and getting ready. He raises a finger up to you. And I need to wonder why in my sheet for him just closed. I blame Jera.
Dang it, Jared.
I didn't do it.
I need a wisdom saving throw.
Sorry, back. My mom got home, but I'm back.
Welcome back. As your anger roils up to a new head at the smirking look on his face, you feel it start at your feet and work its way up, just and you're held. All of the men kind of look to their boss, a bit of horror on their face, potentially having never seen this before, and proceed to go and stab you. Two of them hit just baseline. The one that had stepped away, and the one that you had managed to kick between the legs. Get in solid blows with these shoddy little daggers, doing a middling 4 damage total between the two of them. But one of them, seizing the opportunity, actually leaps up and on the back where the break in your armor is between your neck, jams a short sword down to the hilt and leaves it there before shoving off your paralyzed self for a, after rage, would have been significantly worse, 8 points of damage slashing.
Well,
hmm?
can I start off by saying before any of the damage, I had 2 health.
Okay. So as you're physically held up by the hold person, the first attack puts you at 0. The second attack gives you an instant death save failure.
Isn't it 2?
Bear with me. The second one was a actual critical hit. Zealous is dead.
Oh
Oh
shit!
no!
The last thing you see as there's a soft twist of the hand, the spell releasing, your rage pumping, you can feel that warmth running down your back as you stare at this man, and you're not looking at him. What you see is that same bastard, Beckenheim, one of the craftsmen, that same smug look, and then you realize you're looking at him sideways. You're getting cold, and you fade. Pan the camera to someone typing up a small essay.
Sorry.
I knew exactly who it was. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Hi.
Union, did you hit your wisdom save?
Yes.
Okay, let me get back up here.
We're just playing cards, so you can pan to them if you want.
We're panning to Union. Yes, I just had to go
It was
double
at
check.
24
Double check your
Oh,
save.
okay.
Yeah. You're still heavily intoxicated by whatever beverage. It was delicious, very sweet, summer wine. Um, as the sudden flight or fright, flight instinct triggers in the back of your head, you start looking around, and people are still dancing. The music just has this sort of, it's dropped 3 notes and is now incredibly out of tune, and everything seems very distorted amongst you for the just the briefest of moments, and you now realize Bella was trying to get you to go and leave as you're now spinning round and round in this dance circle with individuals who are smiling, they're having a great time. And then there's a brief second where that fades and you see that they're dancing and there's a forced smile on some of their faces. You look up. The moon is just about there. You and Bella realize you need to go. Quickly making exit of the camp.
Bella,
She's already gone. She also made her save.
where? Joseph. Joseph, we must leave. Ewan's gonna look around for Joe.
He's nowhere to be seen.
Lathandar. He'll be alright. Ewan just tries to get out of there.
As the two of you, sans Joe now, make it out entirely from the circle of the wagons, you can see the halfling there smiling at you. He wasn't very happy with you when you arrived. Got any close, huh? I do hope you paid your respects. Have a...
I
Go ahead, Lassie.
I was gonna say, well, I think so. It was fun. Thank you. Bye.
We really must be going.
You sure? The real party's only just getting started.
We were asked very nicely to leave at midnight, and it's midnight, so
Have a wonderful evening.
Did we leave our weapons with that guy?
When you ask for them, he does produce them.
Okay.
I don't have a weapon.
Well, all weapons are returned regardless.
Oh yeah, Union lectured him out how to best take care of the crossbow.
Tried to.
Right.
About 10 minutes after midnight, you return over the hill where you can faintly see the luminescent bubble of Ideal. Hem and Nami having probably at this point already curled up in their bedrolls to get at least some of you get a good night's rest.
Nope, we're playing cards.
Playing cards all night. Um, Joe is just at the bottom of the hill, about to get into the camp. And then the two of you arrive. There still is the sound of raucous music.
Look, it was good wine.
Yeah, it was.
The two of them stagger into your bubble, Ideal. They reek of wine.
Guys,
Steve it
you missed
away.
it.
It's bathed in their sweat.
You missed the fun.
You guys really need a bath.
Yeah, I'm just pressing until it goes away completely.
Your face needs a bath.
Bella,
Oh, you tell
remember what happened the last time you drank?
No.
Exactly.
No,
Go
God.
to bed.
I know my rights.
Where is Atlas?
Went off to punch something.
Yep.
Actually. Whatever.
That's about normal.
Yep. I'm
That's
sure.
what Ideal said. Or not
Yeah.
Ideal. Yeah, Ideal. That's the right person. Fuck, did I have something to drink? Shit.
I mean, you're playing cards with the bard for several hours. Probably.
Yeah, I probably have some wine or something.
Yes. Where's
There's
Joe?
dancing.
Joe's he's sat down. You see him make his little. You see him do this several times. Makes a little cup of this thick liquid.
Okay.
You guys missed the dancing and the drink and more dance. There was a lot of dancing.
Oh, I don't
My
dance. I'm
legs
glad
are
I
so
missed.
sore.
You two are going to be awful in the morning.
I don't get hangovers. I give them to the old lady.
Huh?
Yeah,
What? Huh?
yeah.
It is like that fishy.
I give the hangover to the old lady.
Bella, don't you think she's mad at you enough most of the time?
You think I care?
No, it's just utterly confused now.
I'll tell you tomorrow as we ride.
I'm
Okay.
like probably fake and stuff, and she's probably the real me, and then I'm like, oh, so I don't care what she thinks. She's a stupid face.
You tell them, Blueberry.
Blueberry. I don't want to know
He's
anymore.
still very drunk.
Union, go to bed.
I'm Union.
Yes, you are. Now go to bed.
I'm sorry. I lost.
I'm gonna go to bed.
As will you.
Crawling into your bedrolls. Eventually, putting aside the cards and getting yourselves to and getting some form of rest for those who intend to attempt it. If you do not plan to stay awake, you need to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Thank you.
If you do not plan to stay awake,
Now, if you
If you
plan to
plan
stay
to stay.
awake, you need to roll a Constitution saving throw to avoid exhaustion.
gotcha.
Um, Bella and Union, when you wake up in the morning, you're under the poisoned condition.
Oh,
Hangover?
It is way too bright, and as the party rummages around, it is way too loud. For the record, Bella, the lady is laughing intentionally, making as much noise in your head as possible.
I'm glad she's doing it because I was about to.
what does it take to ignore her? She's
Apparently,
in my
alcohol.
brain. I can't just shut her out. She's literally in my brain. Oh,
And that's when you'll notice there's Zealous' bedroll and gear, and what little there was of it.
I was gonna say, did he have anything?
It's odd mementos. He has tack and saddle for his horse.
Fair.
Besides the poison condition, do we get the normal long rest stuff?
You do get your long rest, yes, but you are
Okay.
as you awaken under the poisoned condition.
We slept in late.
Nami,
Well, I didn't.
yes, you did. Well, actually,
Oh no.
no, you didn't. You got a point of exhaustion.
Oh yay. And again, after last night, that doesn't surprise me.
But as you groggily you find yourself in that like half awake sort of that hyper awareness where you can hear everything that's going on around you, but your body's like, hey, we really should have done that little like shutdown reboot period, right? Did we do that? Yeah, body and brain having that brief conversation before you snap to and you start looking around. Joe's just sitting there sipping his drink. All of you notice Zealous' gear, his bedroll, untouched.
Did he not come back last night?
I don't know. I will go out and start kind of taking a quick look around.
I thought you
fine.
guys.
Zealous always goes away and comes back. It's fine.
Joe and Nami, both you do know that No, Zealous, he never came back. Which, Zealous goes away. Zealous doesn't leave camp overnight. He's at least not done that in canon yet.
And won't.
Damn, just
I'm
shooting it out there
saying.
now, aren't you? No,
Wow.
like, sudden. Holy hell.
After the amount of deaths I have had,
Wow.
my heart is hardened.
I was like, this is my first time witnessing a character death, and you're just like,
Cold.
I once listed them out to Dawn. It is not a short list.
Anyhow, so you begin to start looking around. As you crest the hill, you look about. You don't see anything. Oh, wait a second. There you can see a familiar, distorted black image dragging something.
oh god, out of character.
I will go to the about in that direction.
As you get closer, you see the familiar tentacles flashing out. Enigma. And then there's a glint of metal.
I am going to use detect thoughts on Enigma.
As you get yourself closer into range and you
Yeah.
pry into the very alien mind, first thing you see is he's hungry and I can't eat this.
Is it Zealous?
As you get closer and closer, oh, he just refers to it as this. He doesn't know names, or
Yeah.
doesn't at least
Yeah.
doesn't care about names. Covered in dirt and filth, riddled with holes and wounds, you find Zealous. That familiar light that he saw in the back of it, little pits that should be his eyes, gone out.
That's not great. I'll say, Enigma. We should probably take this back to camp.
Not gonna ask if he did it.
Nope.
Good point, actually.
It looks at you, looks at it, and all as you're prying through his thoughts, it slowly shifts back and translates once again. I can't eat it, and he drops it and starts walking away.
I will start dragging Zealous back to the camp.
We'll say you'll take 10 on this.
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
Literally 10.
The
Exactly.
laughs in heavy.
Last at 11 strength.
Does anyone else had anyone else intended to go and join the search?
Union would.
Nope.
So Union, as you make your way up, doing the kind of cupping your hand over your eyes to block as much of the sun as you can. First thing you see as you crest the hill is Enigma and Ideal having this sort of standoff, and Enigma just pads away and heads towards the lake. And then you see a glint of metal and Ideal struggling with something as he's now going uphill with it.
Why is he so heavy?
Thinking that clearly Zealous is just hurt. Union's gonna break into a run and try and get.
You didn't, for the record, you don't know it's Zealous yet.
Fair.
As your hazy, addled brain runs up to Ideal to see what he's dealing with, that's when you notice.
Ideal is.
Yes.
Is he?
Seems to be.
Hasn't twitched or spasmed this whole time.
Zealous. Union looks like genuinely pretty shook up. This.
They
What's happened?
No idea. Apart from all of these.
Ideal's still slowly dragging by himself.
Ow! For the love of the thunder!
Should show more respect. Get out of the way. Union will carry his ass himself.
Thank you. I was giving all the respect I could.
Bella, finding a friend in such a condition, I'd consider a sobering experience.
Fair.
You're still poisoned, but you know. It takes about another 5 minutes before the rest of you down below could see Ideal and Union crest the hill. Between them, the large hulking figure of the Warforged. Another 3 or 4 minutes before Zealous is laid there in the middle of the camp. And as someone noted, yes, Ideal, a certain very well trained and very well companioned warhorse stomps forward and kind of it's tied off with the other mount, so it basically goes, all right, no, we're moving. The other mounts aren't fighting this.
They know better by now.
Like, if this warhorse wants to go, it's going.
Yeah.
And the warhorse starts nudging at it, with the hoof paws at it a little, and just no sound, just stands at the ready.
I reach up and try to stroke its mane.
That's a good way of losing.
I said carefully.
It doesn't react.
We should probably bury him.
You shall have a barrow. Monument. For all that come across this place.
Let's not go too crazy.
Can't you just recast the spell?
That's not.
Like that.
Yeah.
I like how we come full circle.
How much do I really know about Wordforged in general?
Other than that's not how that works, probably not much.
Okay. How is this Nami's fault?
Given 5 minutes, I could explain how it's Nami's fault, but I'm not going to.
Please don't. Actually, it kind of.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Just confusion.
Nami, looking at it, there's like this brownish orange liquid pouring forth from wounds, very similar how blood would flow. You now actually get a decent look at under the armor. There is this strange metallic skin. This is an actual body, not armor. Definitely not animated armor.
Oh shit, that was a person?
Mm-hmm.
Was.
I said was.
Very much alive. Was very much alive.
Probably kick all of our asses if he really wanted to.
He definitely tried to kick mine a few times. Throwing me into spike death.
I'm waiting for that was voluntary.
Thank you, Zealous.
Well. You proceed to make a small barrow, well, small relative to his size.
Also, I hate to be that guy, but I am going to see if he still has the wealth on him.
It wasn't on him, but his stuff's over there.
Okay. Because that was
Nami would have been first to that.
That is not a small amount of wealth to, lose.
Ian would look up, sweating, having dragged Riverstone out and half covered Zealous as the two just loot his thing. Very, very disapproving.
Look, we can make it a party fund. The start of the party fund.
I'm with Ideal on this one.
So, Zealous, if you'd be so kind to whisper Ideal what you had. But Joe does take a moment to assist you, Union. He's not great for the heavy lifting, but he makes an effort. There was no small connection to Zealous himself, of course.
I do, make sure he's as clean as possible and all that using Presty and
You finish this small burial, humble as it can be here, using just river stones and the elements available to you, tucked against the side of the hill. It takes the better part of the day. Zealous is not a small person, as Ideal has now been well reminded. So about 1:30 in the afternoon, the burial is complete. For the record, his warhorse has not moved.
Is Enigma around?
You haven't seen him.
Okay, good. Don't have to feed him.
I think he's off hunting.
When the barrow is complete, you crouch over it, say some kind of prayer to consecrate the ground.
Okay. A paladin's eulogy is given. Prayers outward towards the Thandar. Lip service, at the very least, to the Raven Queen, that Zealous may pass quietly as his soul very well might. Onward and safely to wherever it can find its best, most restful place within the cycle. It's now about 2:30 in the afternoon. No one's passed by where you're currently tacked up.
Also, I do put some of its other knickknacks with Zealous
Okay.
before.
Stuff for the next adventurer to loot.
Yeah. I mean, because let's be fair. It would rather go to, Zealous would probably rather us have it than Random Adventurer 32 that finds this grave.
I don't know. You don't know his connection to Adventurer 32.
Fair.
Could have been his literal best drinking buddy. All right, you guys get a book.
Good job.
So Ideal, you
Oh,
find
right,
you find
the book.
a ledger of
Yeah, that one.
trade and
Yeah.
incoming and outgoing trade of Hayam for this company.
I am gonna keep that too, because that might be important. Not that we are ever going back there.
But how long do you intend to delay before continuing on to Groffen? You could probably make it there come just about the middle of the night.
Do we really want to come into town at the middle of the night?
No.
Why not?
Not investigate, discover what happened here.
Yeah, that might be the smart plan. Because they may not let us in the middle of the night, Bella.
Why not?
Because
I had other reasons.
I know a lot of towns close their gates at night.
Oh, that's just unpolite.
Pretty sure Heim closed theirs at 5 p.m.
Okay, So
It's a rather interesting curfew.
I hear one vote so far to try and investigate the surrounding areas, find out what happened.
I'd say investigate.
Okay.
I'll go with them to help.
Now I will note that it did not take a scholar of the medical arts to know that Zealous was definitely killed by a massive amount of piercing and slashing wounds. As a group, we will enter a sort of soft skill challenge. All of you go ahead and roll me an investigation as you begin to cover the ground in the area surrounding where Ideal had found Enigma dropping off another present.
I'm so
Is that
present.
a disadvantage for me, or does clicking the little exhaustion thing already do
It
disadvantage?
should automatically trigger for that. And yes, you are
Alright.
still poisoned, Bella and Union.
Don't know if that did it automatically or not.
It did not.
Okay, I'll just roll it again. Well, that's a difference.
Okay. Bella, about an hour in, the lady, she's finally decided to be nice because you complaining is giving her a headache. You find yourself having to pull aside, get some water in you, get rehydrated. Um, Union is not too far behind you. It is Nami and Ideal. As you come across the next hill, you see the same cottage as previously described. No smoke rising from its stacks. There appears to be some men working a small field around it.
I will approach carefully.
Turns pretty standard farmer garb. Hello there, stranger in these
Howdy.
parts. Howdy indeed.
Yeah.
We ain't looking for any more hands.
Oh no. I'm just traveling through. Was wondering if you saw or heard anything last night. Friend of mine got mighty beat up.
I look amongst each other. Can't say we had early risers, so early to bed.
Of
Can I
course,
do a
of course.
deception check?
You mean insight check?
Insight, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that I was about to.
Disadvantage.
You look out. It's not a big field, but they've definitely been at work for a while, so you gauge he's telling the truth.
Okay. I will nod and say, "All right, fair enough. Thank you for your time," and I will continue my search.
Okay. Um, Union, Bella, and Joe catch up to you after a little whiles, having looked about in the other sides of the hills, finding nothing. As you go to make your way around the property, Union, Nami, just Union and Nami, as you're passing by, taking a wide break around, you catch the cottage itself. It's not extraordinary, but there on the side is a fresh, small section of what looks to be some kind of paintwork done to it. This catches your eye. Otherwise, nothing else of note.
Say that one more time. My
Like
Discord missed.
like someone had just freshly painted over a small portion of it sometime recently.
Of what?
The side of this cottage.
Oh, heck yeah, Nami's gonna go see that. It's a house.
Okay. Uh, excuse, excuse me, miss. Mind staying off the property?
Sorry, didn't know anyone lived here.
All the farmers working the field turn and look at you like, what?
Tired for this shit.
I mean, if there's anything we can do to help, y'all let us know. But like I said, we were here. Nothing happened around here. These parts. Um, Stepping out the door is a very well-dressed individual. You can see the side of his face is heavily bandaged as he's in the middle of putting on a fashionable hat, a little baller cap. Looks about with his cane. He makes a few gestures to a few of them. They nod respectfully, and that's when you see one of them staring at him, doing kind of trying to make shooing motions. And when I say you, once again, Union and Nami are the only ones who are perceptive enough to catch this among the living. He turns, sees the lot of you. Oh, visitors. Help you with something.
No, we're only travelers. Looks like a nasty wound there. What happened to you?
Oh. It's quite alright. Mind you, you're shouting from like 20 feet away.
Yeah, I will approach a
And
little
again,
closer.
you, as you look at him, there's a fairly familiar stance. You recently saw someone very similar to him at a certain school. He postures
Ah,
as you approach, very much ready. That's quite far enough. I don't want people trespassing on my property.
of course.
I appreciate the consideration. One of our mares got a little feisty last night.
Can I do an insight on that?
Of course.
Disadvantage.
I didn't expect to get anything from him.
God damn it, my rolls are bad.
Looking at that bruising, yeah, that a horse kicked you to the face. That's what I'd look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Where did you even find Zealous?
He joined us at the very beginning.
That's not what I meant.
Oh,
He did show you where the body was found. That's where the
Yeah.
investigation
Okay.
started.
Okay.
This is where Enigma had delivered the present. You see the man walks over to one of the farmers, has a brief conversation, steps around to this small stable shed. You hear some rustling, and moments later is mounted up and riding off.
Mayor seems happy this morning.
That's not a
could
mare.
be a different.
No.
Could be definitely is a different horse.
That is definitely a prized riding horse and a male at that.
Does it look like it wouldn't quite fit in these parts?
I mean, he looks out of place.
Yeah, yeah.
But he as you see, the best you can tell is perhaps he owns the farm. He doesn't actually work here.
Fair.
Um, the few men around kind of nervously go about their business, watching you as you're just literally standing on the outskirts of their farm.
I will
Go
kind
look
of head
elsewhere.
away. Yeah. I will gather us together and be like, he seemed truthful, but man, he reminded me of some of the people back at the school that I trained at.
I mean, we're not far. They could simply own pieces of land out here.
That's probably what it was.
Obviously, he's rich.
Or just good
Speaking,
at looking rich.
that's true as well.
Alright. I
It
don't
did
think
look like he had money to repaint that section of his house.
he looked dangerous, Union.
I mean, you didn't see a weapon on him.
So, how does he look dangerous?
His stance reminded me of some of the people who kicked my ass back in Innsland at the school of Singing Sword.
Well, then I suppose we don't get caught trespassing on his property.
Yeah. Let's head back to camp, I guess. I don't know if we're gonna ever know exactly what happened.
He was wrong to let his death go unanswered.
Well, if
Does
you want to keep investigating, go right ahead, Union. But I'm tired.
There are more important things than just oneself, Nami.
Not the way I've seen it lately.
Well,
well, we will have to get back to Innsland eventually. Perhaps on our way back we can find something.
okay. With nothing to show for it, you make your way back to where you had hitched up the animals. Find Joe there waiting, having stayed to keep an eye on things. Um, Warhorse still hasn't moved. Like it's waiting for a command. Those of the insightful nature would notice. So, Bella and Nami. The sun is close to setting.
I will start the process of putting up the dome for the night.
Okay. Another early night. Do we have anyone not intending to sleep?
Going straight to bed.
No, we're sleeping tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, Union would stay up for a little while. Go to bed.
But you do intend to go to bed.
Yes.
That might not have been a reason she stayed up. No. It's only one of a few reasons.
Sleep still doesn't come easily to most of you. But having gone to bed as early as you did, it is very early in the morning when you rise to find the pacing Enigma waiting, watching. It's the sun is not even crested over the hills at this point. I will note this night you didn't hear any of the music. What do you plan to do?
I'd say head to Groffen.
I'm gonna check on the war horse.
Bella Union, your poison condition has faded.
Woo. Hangover gone.
The war horse.
I'm still exhausted? Question mark.
No, you got a long rest. That gets rid of it.
Okay, awesome.
War horse still hasn't moved.
Can I like offer it like pretty grass or something?
You put food to its lips, it doesn't move.
Oh, come on. You haven't eaten since yesterday. Please eat something.
Give me an animal handling. Doesn't respond.
I'm gonna try to.
Nope.
Bella, I need a dexterity save. Because it responds.
I got it to move, guys.
Hey, we're getting some of the fire back into it.
Bella, you've taken 4 bludgeoning damage as it chomps you.
Well, I don't think it wants to eat.
Joke's on the horse. I got him to move.
Oh boy, we've outsmarted a horse. Gardor would be so proud.
I am Gardar.
What's the plan?
Head to Groffen?
Yes.
Guess we'll just go without the horse.
Nami's gonna stick with the horse. She's gonna try to get it to come along.
Okay, that, again, another animal handling. You struggle for the better part of the about half hour or so it takes everyone getting their stuff together, getting their mounts ready, before finally it kind of dawns on you you realize it's waiting for instruction. This is a very well trained beast. You pick up the saddle and put the saddle on it, and it churns, ready to be mounted.
Oh, we're gonna attempt this. Little prayer to Lady Luck here. We're gonna try to mount.
You can do it.
Do you secure
Wait, I need a step stool. Hold on.
Do you secure the saddle first?
Yes.
Okay.
Tack and everything.
Okay.
Bridle, saddle.
I inspire because yes.
Animal handling.
Athletics.
Oh god.
You have inspiration from me.
No.
You see her go to pull up, and then she felt like she moved great, and you look, her foot is an inch off the ground.
I will face palm and go to
Her
help.
muscles are like straining.
Lift.
A few more minutes, you're thrown up onto the saddle with the help.
I know I could do this.
Way up. It's very different perspective sitting up in the saddle. Your feet actually don't reach because the stirrups are set up for Zealous. So your little legs dangle over the side as you are on this very large horse. Because it's not World of Warcraft style where the horse just shrinks to your size. But
That wasn't
otherwise,
so hard.
an animal handling now to get it to move. As you lack any ability to use your legs, as you've encountered horses briefly here on land, but not really mounted before intentionally.
I was about to say.
Asking questions of the others here and there. You don't slow them down as much as the mule there does. It'll take some time to get used to riding the horse as the party makes their way, and by mid afternoon, you can see on the horizon Groffen rising up. There you see a relatively humble town, scattered buildings that condense the further towards the center it goes, as most often do. Um, from this side, there's not a lot of traffic, but you can tell that it is a often traveled location. Uh, Old wagon and cart drags, um, old tracks from both foot and hoof, things of that nature, eventually bleeding into um, their lakeside. You can see a few small huts, a few small piers sticking out into the water, more of the fishing life that surrounds this lake. As you break away finally out of the very last hill, um, there is music to be heard. As we will fade to black, because I can't officially play it on the stream. And it is about that time that Don said he had to go be a responsible person.
I apologize.
No, you don't. Um, Real life always first. So stop stream.